Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
Hello everyone, Carrie here from my secret Canopian Catgirl base, and today we are looking at the Catalyst Game Labs Premium Vulture Miniature. Now, as you all may have seen, I covered the Wolverine, and to be fair, I didn't have a lot of good things to say about it. It didn't hit me as something that was really worth the time or the money to go and buy. And I would apologize, but it's my opinion. It's a fair opinion, and it's true. But anyway, we are on a new review, not new episode, but a new review, and of course we're going to be taking a look at a different model. Now, the one I've chosen here, this was also sent to me by the same person, Ed, who got me, not only did he get me this, he got me the Wolverine, and he managed to get those vehicles from Randall to me. So once again, Ed, thank you so much. I really appreciate what you've done for me here. And we're going to look at the Vulture Premium Miniature. Now, this is currently on sale at Catalyst Game Labs, and it runs $14.99. So it's not super expensive, which is great. Although what you're getting, in my opinion, once again, it's lacking. So here's what we're looking at. We're looking at a Vulture miniature that comes in the prime configuration. It's not any of the alternate configurations. There's really not much to say about that. It does use a ball and socket system for the arms, which works out a little bit better this time, simply because of the fact that the arms on it are a little bit different in the way that they go in than the Wolverine, although it does still seem to have a wider stance than the plastic Vulture as far as its torso and its arms. And for the most part, it's okay. Now, your basic things to look for, obviously mold lines. There were some which were either pretty hard to get to or I just could not get to them at all. None of them, at least on the torso, were so hard to get to that I couldn't clean them. The legs did have some mold lines that I really had some trouble with. And then you get to the back of the torso, and based on this miniature and on the Wolverine, it feels to me like when they're printing the master, they are printing it back down, nose up, or front of the torso up. And the reason I say this is because, once again, the details on the back of this are muddy when you compare them to the plastic. And also, something else about the torso, which you can notice a little bit in the rotational shots, is that, so the missile launchers, when they come out of the sides of the center torso, should be perpendicular to the torso. It shouldn't be convex or concave if you look down on it from above. On this, they are convex. They go backwards towards the rear, and it's enough to be noticeable visually. I would say it's probably about maybe 1 to 2 millimeters, 1.5 millimeters that it goes backwards when it meets the center torso, which to me is just not something that looks good. And also, much like the concave issues with the arms on the Wolverine, it speaks to issues with their capability to print the miniatures at a high quality, or to cast them at a high quality. The other thing, you'll notice my Vulture is in a pose that you cannot create straight out of the set. This is because of two things. One, the legs, when they designed it, are designed to be splayed outward from the hip, or not the hip, from the ankle, giving it an almost reverse bow-legged effect. I'm sure there's a word for it out there. I just don't know it off the top of my head right now. And the other thing is, they expect you to have the leg essentially kicked back, which you can see if you go to their website. You can see the actual picture of how it's kicked back. It does not look flattering for the Vulture. It's just not a flattering look at all. So I ended up having to cut both legs, and you get three legs total, one for the right leg and two left legs, neither of which seemed to be in a good pose. So I had to cut off the legs at the ankles, shave the ankles, so instead of leaning outward from the ankle, they lean inward towards the hip. After I had done that, I ended up having to take the left leg, and once I'd reattached the feet, or on that one I hadn't reattached the foot yet, but I had to cut where the knee joint is and rotate that to give it a more natural looking pose. Otherwise, it's in like this full tilt run and sort of reminds me of the Devastator, the metal model for the Devastator, where it looks like it's going to face plant. That's essentially what you get here. So, quality wise, I wouldn't really recommend this quality wise. So let's get on to customization, modification. What kind of variants do they give you? Obviously none. They give you the standard stock Vulture or Mad Dog, depending on if you're a clan or Intersphere player. And I feel like this was a huge missed opportunity on Catalyst Game Labs and Monster Fight Club. Monster Fight Club and Catalyst Game Labs really missed a good opportunity here because they could have done any variant of the Vulture. And to be fair, I want to say it's the Vulture D, which has the dual Gauss rifles and is one of the most modified variants of the Vulture out of any variants that are created by fans, that they could have went that route. They could have made, first of all, giving them better accuracy on the side torsos, they could have made the side torsos separate. So that way you don't have whatever the hell happened here where they want to like go inward, like it's almost like somebody pinched it right at the front and it forced it to go inward. So you wouldn't have that issue if you decided to build the factory Vulture. But if you decided you wanted that dual Gauss rifle variant, they could have had it set up where there was something else torso wise, and you could have had the arms, which would have not have lower arm actuators or anything, so it would almost just be like end right at that shoulder mount with Gauss rifles. And that would have been an incredible model, but they didn't go that route. And I feel like that is both a disservice to the history of the Vulture and also a very large missed opportunity. And before I wrap this up, I did notice I'm looking at the picture, the it's a render that they use for the premium miniature Mad Dog Vulture on their website, and you can see the torsos are supposed to meet perpendicular to the center torso. It's not a design feature. It's not a feature, it's a flaw. So yeah, the 14.99, I really wouldn't recommend it. I know Catalyst or Ironwind Metals does not make a metal version of this mech yet. Hopefully at some point they do. This is once again more evidence for me that Ironwind Metals should be making the premium miniatures because of their long history with the property, their respect for the property, and also I feel like they have better QC than this. And if you ever have any problems, like I got a mech once where you had a miscast, I contacted them. They didn't just send me the one part, they sent me a whole miniature. So they're awesome. And yeah, this Vulture right here is the least happy Vulture I've ever seen. If you're looking for a Vulture, I would recommend going either A, buying the Force Pack, because you get a few cool mechs in there. It's not a waste of money. Everything in there is worth the money that you get, and it's only $25. I want to say, maybe 27. The other thing you could do if you literally just want to get the Vulture, a lot of places will sell them secondhand. You have a lot of personal sellers that do that on eBay and stuff, but also our sponsor, Fortress Miniatures and Games, does that as well. And you can get it from them when it is in stock. So you'll have to check their stock levels. It shows whether or not they have it. And you're getting a better quality model. It's the same variant and it's far better quality. So I would recommend going through a secondary seller at this point. My recommendation would be Fortress Miniatures and Games, but obviously, you know, you can choose who you want. But yeah, I would definitely recommend going to like Fortress and getting a Vulture, a plastic Vulture from them. if this is what you really want to do. So that being said, like I said, I want to thank my wonderful sponsor, Fortress Miniatures and Games. They're really awesome, and they're one of the best places you can go for BattleTech stuff on the internet. Also, they are the people who run Southern Assault, which will be happening again this year, Southern Assault 4. So if you're going to be there, I look forward to seeing you. Come say hi. That'd be really awesome. Also, I want to thank all of my patrons. You all make this so possible for me, and you are so wonderful. I thank each and every one of you. And if you want to support the podcast or the YouTube channel and have some extra money that you want to throw towards something creative and good, go check out our Patreon at patreon.com/unicorn company. I have tiers all the way from $1 out to like 20, and each time we review something, I try to get a second copy to give that away to one of our patrons. That's something that I really want to be able to give back to the people who are helping me. So that being said, I really thank all of you. I hope you had a good time and you have a good day, good evening, good whatever it is where you are. This is Carrie signing off.
I'm gonna find my meaning, I can make a change. I wanna play the game. You wanna sink or swim?